Hi, this is Audrey, and thank you for clicking on my video. The fall garden update series is pretty much over because almost everything that I planted at the beginning of the fall series didn't make it. So I just have some new things that I'm growing. Let me show you around and let's take a look and see what the garden looks like this week. This cauliflower is doing so well in this pot, but I know I'm going to have to transplant it in the ground in order for it to actually grow into cauliflower. But look how big this is. Here's a spot I'm going to put them right next to these peppers here. I put the compost manure mixed along with some of that fertilizer. It's called Expert Gardener. I forgot what the actual fertilizer is, but I put some of that in the ground, and now I'm just gonna take some of these out and transplant them in the ground. I'm doing this on a whim because I just watered them. I probably should have waited until they dried out a little, but I'm in the mood to do it, so I'm gonna do it now. I don't want to procrastinate and then end up not doing it for another week. All right, I'm going to put that one back in the pot, and here's how I'm going to plant them. What about the spacing? Is that right? Well, by the time you see it, it's going to be planted, but it'll still be early enough to where if I have to dig one up, I can. So this is how I'm going to space them. And I was thinking that, here are my greens. They're coming along pretty good. I was thinking that with this garden that I have, if I had to survive off of the food that I grow, we would starve to death. Is anybody out there growing enough food to where they could actually eat and live off of? I mean, has this replaced buying something? Is there anything that you buy or that you plant that replaces something that you buy? Because even though I have a good yield of peppers yearly so far, this is, I think, the second time I've grown them, and I've had a lot of peppers, but throughout the year I'm still buying peppers because it's not enough, especially when you have to wait on them to grow. But just curious, is anybody actually replacing something that they would normally buy with their garden? They're all planted. This soil right here was extremely soft, so it was very easy to plant these. This is probably the area where I should have put some sweet potatoes in because it was like really soft. And I put that one back in the pot, and we'll see how that does. Actually, I think it was more than one, but I didn't want, they were so fragile, they started breaking, so I didn't want to break them apart. So I'm just gonna leave that there, and the rest, we'll see how it does. Hopefully they don't die. Here's the cauliflower that I planted the other day. That one back there looks a little wilty, but the other ones are starting to stand up on their own, so that's a good sign. I was just looking out here at these sweet potatoes, and look. That looks like a sweet potato. You know what? I think I'm going to get out here this week and pull them up. See what's all under there. See? Look. Maybe I should have looked at how other people dug theirs up. Okay. I'm just going to try to move some of the... It looks like a really sweet potato. It looks like a big sweet potato that I grew. All right, now let me see, can I use both hands and try to dig this thing out of here? Oh no, was I not recording the whole time? Here's what I pulled up. All right, so upon further inspection, it looks like most of these are just vines above ground that's not hardly attached to anything or barely attached to the ground, except for right here. See, that looks like another potato right there. You know what, I think I'm just going to try to pull everything up I see, and If there's potatoes under there, I'll get them. If not, then that'll just be it. I'm going to see, can I dig this out without damaging it? So I'm being really gentle. This is just amazing. I can't believe I grew this. Oh my gosh. I know it might seem corny to everybody else that's used to growing and they, you know, just pick stuff and it's just a normal thing. But man, isn't it amazing? You can put some little thing out here and then something grows. It's just amazing. I'm just gonna pull everything up. Okay, I thought I was recording, but pretty much all I did was just cleared the sweet potato vines. And here's the area where they were. Yes, there's a bunch of weeds here, but I think I'm just gonna dig around to see if maybe my chance to see if there aren't any more sweet potatoes hidden in the ground. But when I pulled the vines up, they weren't really attached to anything. They were mostly just laying like on top of the yard. I dug up the area where the vines were and found these right here. So this little section here was very easy to dig up. The ground is real soft, and I mean the extra ones that I found there, they were actually here, and I just was able to easily pull them out with my hand. But I noticed on this side the ground is very hard, and so I suppose that's why the sweet potatoes weren't able to penetrate the ground to grow. Here's my first sweet potato harvest ever. It's not big, but I'm definitely gonna eat it. Well, at least, I mean, these are the size I would get from the store. When I do buy them at the store, I like this size. So obviously, I'm not gonna eat these, but I'm just excited that anything grew. I'm just surprised that anything grew. Well, I'm gonna pick some of these peppers. Look, they're turning red. Look how red that is. Now I think these are hot. Because I had some when they were green and they were like extremely hot. But this one, because there's several plants in this pot, I never did separate them when they started growing. I just left them, and I think there's a mixture of hot ones, and I think these are sweet peppers, but I'll see when it's time to use them. Now, these are starting to turn as well. I don't know if I dare eat this, but I'm gonna try it. I know it's gonna be hot, but I'm gonna pick off this one. I think these are cayenne peppers. Look at this. Ooh, look how bright and vibrant and pretty they are. I wonder if they're hot. Now these peppers, I picked some that were green, and when I tell you those peppers were so hot that they took my breath just with me cutting them. That's how hot they were. But when I used them, I mean when I cooked with them, the taste, you know, it wasn't that hot, but just when I ate some raw, and I like peppers, I like hot stuff. So when I ate them raw, man, those things were so hot. I said, you know what, let me just cook with them instead of trying to eat with them raw. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this bell pepper off of here. And might as well get this one as well. Is it turning color? No. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pull just a few of these. I'm gonna have some, and I'm gonna take my parents some. Here are the peppers. This is the first harvest that I've had this year for the peppers. I don't know what this is growing in here. Look at these. They're pretty. That's it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.